BTMReview.com with another The Walking Dead podcast talking about episode 14, Spend. This is Aaron with Riverman and Pat. What's up, everybody?
Hey, hey.
Howdy, folks.
From the top, I mean, honestly, I fucking love this episode. I got to be honest with you. A lot of shit happened to it. There's a lot to talk about. And there's a lot more than usual to talk about, so I might have trouble remembering every little detail, so you guys got to help out.
I'm really interested what score you're going to give this.
I loved it.
Because compared to last week, you gave it like an 8 out of 10. It's like you kind of blew your wad last week.
No,
he's gonna have to start giving like 13s out of 10.
No, it's just. I mean, I can already
come back to earth
that.
a little bit last week.
I'm gonna start giving fractions and shit.
No, I can already say that it's been consistent. I love it. I don't care if I'm getting that out of the way, but I thought it was a really good episode. But a lot of stuff happened. It's kind of all over the place. Like, so where did we start here? We're still in Alexandria. I think it started off, Carol's still seemingly trying to be a cold bitch to this one kid. She's clearly trying not to get attached. And to keep her whole facade up. God, what else? Oh, I want to say that we got some comments on the last episode. Our buddy Rockula from Rockula Retrospective, he always breaks down, and he's really good at finding little nitpicky points about things that we missed. And he called out the husband. When we talked about the husband and his motives in the last episode, he sort of called out last week that, he's obviously a blatant drunk, and that's why he pulled Rick. He wanted to get the drinks, and the wife had a problem. It's funny. We were trying to make it more complex than that.
I don't think that's that. That guy must be a goddamn genius if that's obvious to him, because I didn't think it was that obvious.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
He's that hard up for booze, and we're just supposed to just know that just from one arbitrary statement. I mean, kudos to that guy for picking that out.
Oh shit, we're on the zombie apocalypse. I'd be drinking every fucking night.
I kind of thought it went with the territory, and obviously it's not the first one that we've encountered. But Bob
was just only alcoholics in this whole new world.
But it was illustrated a little more, I guess, bluntly with Bob. Obviously, you had the several scenes where he's staring longingly at a bottle of whatever.
He dies for the bottle, pretty much.
Well, this guy, we just had that one scene where he was insistent on getting the booze, and she said, no, I'll get it. No, I mean, we didn't know what to get from that. I didn't know.
I mean, I guess back in hindsight, it makes more sense.
Yeah, of course. Now that we know
obviously when he shows up in this one, and, I mean, you could probably just smell him through the TV. Because he's carrying what appears to be 2 open bottles of beers and offers one to Rick. Like, no, dude. So.
You see, people who drink beer, I don't consider them alcoholics, so I don't know why people are considering him an alcoholic.
Yeah, you need to try harder. If you have to drink 24 of them a day to feed your disease, then you're work smarter, not harder.
Drink a whiskey or scotch or something else.
Right. I mean, for Christ's sake, Scope has alcohol in it.
But moving on.
But there's a lot of things. Let's just start let's start with Rick and Carol, and before we get all confused. Okay, so you have Rick and you have Carol. You have their whole thing. He's on patrol. The whole owl fucking statue and the kid. Carol's still trying to be a bitch. I mean, she's trying to keep her facade up. And she's trying not to get attached. She's being colder than, we're used to her character being towards children. But obviously her experience with children, little kids stabbing each other, all blowing up in her face. I understand. But the big thing here is it turned into an after-school special. He's getting fucking beat. He wants to spend time with Carol, all that stuff. The whole thing with Rick, and did you guys see was that on the sneak preview, or was that the end of this episode, where she was telling Rick about it? That, hey, he's an alcoholic. You gotta fucking kill him.
Yeah, that was at the end of the episode.
That was right at the end of the episode.
Okay, so that's a bit extreme. Now, I don't know how to talk about this podcast because we're gonna end up jumping all over the place, because that ties in with Father fucking Gabriel and his whole fucking purpose of selling them out, because he sold them out and went to whatever, Deanna or whatever, saying that was a cool twist, that they were that whole, devil in the white robe type sort of thing that they were kind of hinting at from the last sneak peek. So it's kind of the tables are turning, like maybe You know, who's the innocent victim here, and who are the bad guys?
We finally figured out Father Flanagan's purpose in this episode or in this show.
I think it's like I don't know. I have a problem with that whole thing where we haven't heard from him for 3 episodes, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Fuck you guys! Thanks for keeping me alive." I mean,
Yeah, I know. As suspicious as Rick has been about everybody, this guy's just quiet the whole fucking time, following us. We're helping him out. Actually, it's been nothing but trouble, actually, and a nuisance. And
other than Eugene, he's the one who's almost gotten them killed more times.
And he doesn't serve a purpose. And like they never got his full story, I don't think, or got a convincing story out of him. And that's kind of I don't know. Did he slip through the cracks on that? Because Rick's got a pretty big screening process, it seems. But yeah, I mean,
it seemed random, and if there was one thing I took issue with in this episode of kind of just being lazy, as just kind of like, all right, the writers are sitting around in an office saying, all right, where do we need to go with shit, Father Gabriel, yeah, let's have him do this, yeah, there now we have conflict. So
if anything, I think that I don't know if it was just sort of like that. If anything, I think that's the reason why they planted Father Gabriel at the beginning of the season. I mean, like literally for this whole end, he's there as a plot device.
They're also setting him up to get killed at the end of the season.
Yeah, you'd have to think with introducing something like that, there's going to be some sort of symbolic death that he's going to go.
But I don't understand. His character is really wishy-washy. The whole time I think. I get it. He's sort of an introvert, but I thought it was because he was dealing with his personal demons. We don't know exactly what that guy's been up to before he met the group anyway, but, it seems like he's repenting. We see him taking off his collar, like, you know what, I'm done with God. Then we see him putting it back on. Then we think that now he's stabbing them in the back. Is
ripping up the Bible.
I don't get it. I don't get it. Is he a bad guy? I mean... How true is this guy? Is he going to be something? Is there like a plan? Is there, what I'm saying? Is he going to be something completely different? Is he some bad fucking egg in this whole thing? I don't know what's going on.
Maybe it has something to do with the wolves. Who knows?
We keep going back to the fucking wolves. I don't think we're ever going to find out. The wolves are not, they're not coming, Todd.
The wolves will come.
The wolves will show up the same day Morgan comes.
And then Morgan's going to be all happy because he found his brother Gabriel, and they're going to give a big hug.
Oh, Father!
But then one of them will have to die because we're starting to push ethnic quotas there. We eliminated part of the ethnic quota this episode,
which I will say I did not see him dying so soon. I did not see little Chris dying so soon, and I will say this episode, man, had 2 of the best on-screen deaths the series has ever offered.
I agree.
We didn't expect what is it, the son to die?
Yeah,
I didn't expect him. I mean,
that was surprising to say the least.
That was very surprising. I didn't think Lil Chris was going to die. You'd think that the other fucking guy that was trying to pussy out on him would die. That would be the easy one. But yeah, we had 2, and they were both gruesome, man. Dude, when Little Chris was getting ripped apart, it was like something from Total Recall. I know. Like that old school face, his face getting stretched, like fucking pulling the red thing out of his nose.
That had oxygen. Yeah.
That had to have been an homage to something because they showed it for a long time.
Oh, and then, even when the son got killed, when he was nailed to the wall there, when they were ripping his intestines out, like a la Day of the Dead,
Yeah.
God, and yeah, they were really long and just kind of drawn out and gruesome, and I thought they were really cool, even if a bit arbitrary. They were awesome.
They were great, man.
And just the whole scene where they were stuck in the carousel, I thought was really cool. It was unique. It was something that they haven't done yet, and I found enjoyment in, but.
I thought that was a really interesting action, just kind of little device that they used, and then how exactly would you get out of it creatively?
Literally, what I said to myself when I saw that happen, I said, "What a shitty situation to be in." That's exactly what I said to myself in my head. I'm like, "This is you don't want to be in this,"
especially for Glenn, because I mean we don't know what the other guy's been through, obviously, but fucking Glenn's been in so many precarious little situations, and getting stuck in a goddamn revolving door is going to be possibly the thing that does him in.
Yeah, I'm surprised he doesn't put a gun in his mouth after seeing that. Everybody loves Chris on the glass getting ripped up.
Well, I mean, that was disturbing. The fact that he watched it through the glass.
That's horrible, man.
And he saw his face getting stretched like fucking Arnold. Yeah, it was awesome. Like Cohagen and
Cohagen.
the Mars. But yeah, so I get what they were trying to do there. I mean, he was in the middle. He was going to break the glass, but he needed little Chris on one side and the other guy on the other side to push on the opposite ways to keep it from opening, right? so he could
Right.
put the Force on it. And that guy pussied out, and he escaped and everything else. And
I hope Glenn kills the shit out of him.
oh man, he was a mature guy, just telling him to throw him in the back of that van and not leaving him. Before we get away from that whole scene, there's also Eugene and the lesbian. I'm sorry,
Tara.
Tara.
There's their whole little arc. Everybody, once again, we haven't heard from Eugene in forever. But, once he does start talking 5 episodes later, it's back to, you're a pussy, Eugene. Fucking man up.
Yeah,
Hold a gun.
That's all he pretty much says is I'm a big wiener, and you guys know what you're getting into.
You need me. You need me.
I got you to DC.
No, he didn't, and he doesn't take responsibility for shit. This episode was literally the first thing he's ever done. Well, he did something else earlier in the season, but this is literally the first thing he's ever done that could actually be considered like productive or helpful to the cause.
Yeah, so what is it their power went out in Alexandria or some sort of power source, and they were going on a raid to get what?
I think they're only working with like part of the grid, not the entire part of it. And so Eugene needs some, what I think the box said inverters on it. I don't know. I'm not an electrician. It said he needed some more of those to kind of get the full grid running back up, if I'm not mistaken.
It's for their solar panels.
Okay, so they get to this place, but the shit hits the fan instantly, which was really cool. And there's that zombie with the gear on, the armor. What is it? I missed it. I couldn't quite tell. What is it? Glenn saw some kind of explosive strapped to him?
Grenades. He
Was
had
it grenades?
5 grenades on him, dude.
Yeah. Well, once again, I'd like to point out, everybody, I live in Arizona. I have a giant-ass window shining back with, I try and cover up my window from the fucking sun shining on my big HD TV, and sometimes it's, bright. It's hard to just fucking see details. And I'm not rewinding this shit. But, grenades.
Because he's pirating it from a third-party server in Indonesia.
Philippines, asshole. Damn. You're good. But okay, so he had grenades. What's his face was trigger happy. Glenn shouted, "Stop it!" Blew up. Just everything went to shit.
A lot of surprises in the actual action that happened.
A lot of twists and turns. I don't know exactly what. I mean, we know what happened to the one son. I mean, he got, like I said, fucking nailed to the wall. I don't know if that shit shot through him or if that was against the wall and he flew.
It looked like it was against a bunch of rebar. And that's what he had. He was impaled on him from the inside of the wall, the concrete of the wall.
It's like Dolph Lundgren from Universal Soldier.
Yeah. I'm all ears. Then and then something happened to Tara. We don't know. She got hit in the explosion. She was knocked out. I don't really know where the damage was. She was just kind of fucking out of it. And then
she has a head injury.
And lucky for her, she was trapped with Eugene. And he almost pussed out again. Walker was coming and whatever, and Glenn had to save his ass again. They trust him to stay behind while they go rescue what's his nuts because they find out he's still alive. Okay, so we're all caught up there. But then there's that whole dialogue exchange between the son and his crony, where he told him, "Hey, don't leave me," but he said something to the fact of, "Hey, you know what? You chose to leave her. I don't know who we're talking about. I guess I missed that. This is what we do," and he was going to bail on him, right?
They were talking about the people that were running with him before that died.
Yeah, that they had mentioned in Glenn.
They actually killed him.
Yeah.
They actually killed him.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the twist there. So let's backtrack. What were they telling Glenn the first time when they found that one zombie walking up? They said the zombie got him, or?
Yeah, they said that they didn't. I think that basically the gist of it was they didn't pay attention to what they were told to do, and then they just got eaten. Basically,
so they weren't taking any responsibility, basically, of just the entire situation.
Right. No.
Okay. Because that's their whole mentality here at Alexandria, because that's what we also saw with the Abraham construction site thing. Mm-hmm. Hey, just fucking leave them, whatever, which that's a great way to build a community.
That was a cool fucking scene, too, man.
The whole scene, it was pretty consistent. There's a lot of cool scenes. They really blew their wad because, just one of these scenes would have been adequate for one episode, one scene stealer, but we had quite a few. And, the only person we didn't get development on was Carl, who gives a fuck, and Daryl. We saw him driving off. Yeah. But you know what? The episode was good enough and action-packed enough. It's okay if I didn't see what Daryl was up to. I mean, I'll let...
And it looks like there's going to be, with the conflict that they're kind of foreshadowing with Father Gabriel, and now then with Deanna's son, Glenn going to come back and tell Deanna's son, It looks like there might be what would appear to be sides, or obviously between the crew, between the our main characters, and kind of Maggie acting as probably trying to act as a diplomat with Daryl kind of caught in the middle because obviously he wasn't there. So then it looks like our friend Aaron and his boyfriend will have to pick a side from the looks of it.
You know what? And if it's a stay or go situation, I could totally see Aaron going with Rick's group.
I'm probably gonna guess that we're gonna see Aaron stick around until the next season.
But I can see his boyfriend dying though. He's got to suffer. Everybody's got to suffer a loss,
Right? Everybody, yeah. You can't duos don't last long, and that's why
unless you're Maggie and Glenn.
Glenn, and well, that's why one of them will die shortly, hopefully.
Yeah, I just they have not been given what's her face any love. Maggie, so she's got to go, man. She's just been kind of lingering around, almost like, hey, we're keeping her alive, but she has no room here, just so we can kill her. I don't know, but
well, I think they're kind of setting her up to kind of be almost a voice of reason inside Deanna's head. Obviously, you saw that with when that guy who was running the construction foreman came back to the house. And after not even like completing the job, he just quit in the middle of it, little bitch.
Well, and I'm surprised he got his ass knocked out by the woman, and yet I thought when that scene started, I thought he was throwing Abraham under the bus a little bit, saying, "Hey, this guy." But no, he was actually cheering him on. Like even though he got his ass beat, he's like, you know what, this guy's better than me. I'll give him the job.
Basically, this whole town is just full of wieners.
Really, all the men are wieners. Before we move on to that, because that's the next scene, you were right, though. So, like, this whole shit hit the fan with the son. They have to come back. They do have his friend still alive. Maybe that's his reason for not fucking abandoning him, because now they're going to go back and just tell him, hey, both your cronies are dead.
What do you think, though, the guy is going to say now after getting his ass whooped by Glenn?
He's probably going to... they've lied through their teeth before about other stuff. Yeah, obviously they lied.
Obviously, there's going to be some serious, Yeah,
it's going to be the whole switcheroo. Like, hey, this guy fucking left him. He wanted to leave. Glenn did it, and and that mixed with the timing of Father Gabriel saying they're fucking evil. It's going to be bad news bears. But you know what? I don't think. How far off from the truth are we? I mean, for God's sakes. We're forgetting the whole Carol thing. You're gonna have to kill him. Like, whoa, that's kind of rushing things.
Well, if you listen to what Rick was saying in the next episode,
I didn't catch it.
It sounds like he's basically just sitting there saying like, we don't listen to them, we do what we want, and their rules don't apply to us.
There's a truth there. I mean, like, I think it's like we kind of touched on last episode. I think I mentioned it is. I think it could be like almost like a Breaking Bad effect. Like they're almost becoming the ugly, Well,
why wouldn't they kill him though? I mean, he's kind of a thorn in their side right now.
Well, I'm sorry. They got some kind of utopia where they're trying to establish regular law and order. If somebody's beating their wife or their child, you don't fucking just you don't become Judge Dredd and execute them in the street.
Well, you take them out to the woods and execute them.
Well, reality kind of only inside of Alexandria, reality doesn't actually exist. It only exists outside the walls. And Rick and the group coming into it brought reality back into this, into this paradise or utopia. And so, if reality is going to exist within those walls, then reality is going to weed out the weak, one way or the other, whether it be zombies or the people who have actually existed out there.
Do you see some sort of reversal? Like, let's say hypothetically, all this shit hits the fan and they stay in Alexandria, but now it's kind of Rick's group is stormed in. Has Rick and the group sort of become the fucking governor? I mean, is it kind of?
I don't know. Is there that much difference between the way Rick is acting and the way the governor acted?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, his character is really changing. I mean,
it is very Machiavellian with the good of the cause and all that.
Mm-hmm. I will say one thing else we got sort of clear air on was we didn't know the stance on the woman that Rick fancies. Now that we know that her husband's a drunk, it's obvious. I don't think she's some sort of double agent for anybody. Rick's going to save the day. Something will happen. That fucking guy will die. She'll be in Rick's arms. So now we know it's going to go that way, which is whatever. Rick needs some loving. He deserves it. He needs a counterbalance, for God's sake. He needs a voice of reason because he's starting to go off the deep end a little bit. But okay, the only
picky stinky.
Yeah, the only other person is Abraham, which Riverman, you were talking about that. That was a really cool scene.
Oh, with the mace, dude. When he had
It
the
was
mace,
cool.
he was taking out the zombies with it.
Yeah, well, and Pat, you said last week, why what the fuck is his job? He was an ex-military. You think he'd be an authority figure or he'd be out doing raids? They got him doing nothing. You're a natural construction worker, you white trash piece of shit.
He looks like a construction
He
worker,
does.
man.
Like, look at that wife beater and those bitch tits and that fucking James Hetfield fucking scowl on you. You're a construction. But no, it was a really cool scene. It was done really well. He's not in charge, but all of a sudden he takes charge and he makes it clear that, hey, and I'm the one with the leadership capabilities here. They totally could have saved that one chick. She wasn't too far gone. Clearly, Abraham did it single-handedly. I don't know what their whole mentality
There wasn't that
is.
many with zombies, and you could just walk right around them. I mean, I don't see what the big
That's what he
deal was.
did, and he pulled her out. And but dude, but I love the scene. The little not so subtlety. He said something, and I couldn't quite catch it, but he had a smile on his face, something sort of as to say, like, "Fuck yeah, this is where I belong." Some action, And he was happy, just tearing all those zombies up one by one. What was he hitting them with? Something. What was he hitting them with?
The mace, dude.
It was the.
Yeah, it was. I think it was a mace.
Yeah, on a chain. It was something on a chain. You're right. And he was just fucking just taking him out, and he was happy as a lark the whole time. And it was really enjoyable to watch. Like, he's just that kind of guy that needs to be in the action, I guess.
That would be a pretty sweet weapon to murder some zombies with. I'm not gonna lie.
So, and then he saves her. He takes out the day. They all just kind of watch back, like, oh, look at this guy. And yeah, that one chick comes back and just knocks him on his ass, which is cool. And I don't know. Do we cover everything? Do we cover all the big things? I think.
You didn't talk about Everybody Loves Chris and how he wanted to become a architect.
And that's why I don't really see. Yeah, that's where it started. We didn't see Rick or anybody for 5-10 minutes, but yeah, he wanted to learn the trade from Steve Jobs, that guy, and which of course makes it a little sad, a little heart moment. He's got his little notebook, and they see it in the van after he's dead. This is the beginning. He never got any further.
Yeah, didn't really take a whole lot of notes there, Chris.
Yeah, I know. He's like,
He had like a whole day with him.
Is that maybe that's where the lesson ended? I don't know. This is the beginning.
That's it. That's the end of day one.
But
It's existential meditations that he's learning.
but anyway, it's cool. By the end of this episode, I don't know. That whole Father Gabriel meeting was really weird. And even before Father Gabriel, when she was talking to Maggie, what is it she said after the construction guy came in and said, "Hey, I would like to relieve my duties onto Seamus here because he's obviously the shit." She was saying to Maggie, like, you guys come in. All your another one of your guys in a place of power. I'm seeing a pattern here. Did she say that like in suspicion?
Yep. I think she was kind of worried about the whole situation.
Yeah, I think she's almost starting to feel a bit overwhelmed by how quickly their position has changed within their society. So I think she's kind of becoming suspicious on her own, and then Father Gabriel's obviously coming in,
Pushing her over the edge, yeah.
tilting in the scale, saying she has a lot to think about and whatnot. So it's going to be interesting though how it's going to work with Rick still being in town. Glenn just came back. And all this news just coming to light right away, exactly what's going to happen next. Because all you really got was a voiceover for the next on teaser.
Which I need to check that out after we're done with this because I actually really want to watch it. But and Maggie was trying to reason with her, like, isn't that what you wanted? You wanted us to come here because we were survivors. This is a good thing. Yada yada yada.
Right. Then she overhears obviously the Gabriel stepping into the house and told her.
Which makes her look even fucking worse, yeah, from the conversation they had, obviously. But
and you kind of think that the final straw is probably going to be once they find out about Carol.
Oh yeah, well, the son dying. Like I said, there's gonna be a mash of words like, hey, someone throwing somebody under the bus. Someone's not gonna be happy about whatever.
Yeah, I think the son dying is what's gonna kick this whole thing off.
Because it's perfect timing. They're gonna come right back after this Father Gabriel revelation, and like you said, Daryl wasn't around. Daryl's gonna come back, and he's gonna be like you said, he wasn't there. He's gonna take sides with his cronies. It's gonna be a big ugly thing.
And Glenn's gonna bring up the whole thing of he basically let Everybody Loves Chris get killed. That dude's a bitch, and then it's
that's going to happen because it's perfect. Because what's his face? Eugene wasn't there to witness it. There was no witnesses. That's what's going to happen. It's perfect.
Yeah, that's why Eugene was sent off. Yeah, obviously. So yeah,
I mean that's exactly what's going to happen. But you know what? The twist of it, I mean, this might be the whole twist of it, that Alexandria wasn't bad, Deanna's not bad at all. It's the fact that, hey, you know what? Rick and the group are the ones that are going to fucking take over for once, and they're the bad guys.
Are they really? In this instance, though, is it really that bad? Like, or is that just?
Well, yeah, I don't think they're wanting to kill people. Yeah,
No.
they're just wanting to take
It's the
over.
world they're living in, man.
Right. I think it's just they're products of the society that they're well lack thereof of society, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, either way, I guess that part's subjective. Either way, I think Alexandria is AKA feeling like the victim here, maybe for the first time. It's the party B.
There is definitely a power shift occurring, and obviously it's coming to a head within the next 2 episodes.
But what's the prediction? I have not seen the sneak peek, but what's your prediction, River? We'll start with you on this next. We've only got 2 episodes left, and I think it's pacing out pretty well.
I really don't think that Rick will kill off the husband as of yet. Maybe at the last episode, I think he'll confront him, maybe. And but like I was saying, I think that the little kid is going to squeal somehow and get Carol into trouble, and there's going to be a shitstorm with all of them. And then all hell's going to break loose towards the end of the season. But yeah, as for that one guy, I really don't know what the hell's going to happen to him.
How are they going to get away with that? Like, if that's their plan to kill the husband, like, how do you do that without shaking up the nest and rattling the cage too hard?
I don't think Rick will kill him. I think he will be in a position to not let him get killed, but will be passive about it. And
Because,
the wife won't see it, but she'll just see the aftermath of it.
It's that's going to be really, really tricky.
I really don't see, because if Rick kills the husband, I mean, obviously he's evil, but he's already because I guess Shane. No.
Seems like a pretty fucking cool dude to me. He comes over with beers during the day. He offers free health care. What the fuck? Come over for a checkup. Bring the kids.
Thanks,
I'll
Obama.
be slightly.
So what if you hit your wife?
Rick doesn't know that. He's going off hearsay from Carol.
Yeah, yeah.
And she doesn't even know for sure.
You couldn't prove it in a court of law, Carol. What the fuck do you know?
Those kids and that wife look. I don't see a bruise on their body, and that woman wears half to nothing. You know, she's got her arms out, her tattoos.
Yeah, she's showing cleavage, and she's what is he like, grabbing her thighs really hard or giving her Charlie horses all the time?
Carol's always wanted to tattle after she got the shit kicked out of her. So.
Well, and I did think that was weird.
Goddamn feminists.
I mean, oh, we're in trouble.
Yeah. We might have crossed the line on that one. They're jokes, people.
What line?
Jokes. They're jokes.
No, but it is funny how they didn't have a. I mean, obviously that would have given away the twist a little early if the kid would have had a bruise on his neck, or the wife would have had bruises on her arms,
or a black eye, or show up in like the second time you see her with a black eye,
a crutch. Yeah.
Yeah. What happened? Oh, I fell down a flight of stairs. You live in a ranch house. How'd you do that?
She gives the same excuse my best friend in the 4th grade gave when he came into school with a black eye. I fell in a high heel shoe. Fuck you. Your dad pushed you down the stairs. Whatever. But no, so whatever. It is pretty unrealistic that they look the way they do, but I don't. The Wolves still have to play in somewhere, and Morgan has to play in somewhere. I'm starting to think Morgan's going to barely peep his head in at the very last second. He's going to be the cliffhanger.
No, we won't. We'll be talking about Morgan when he's a character on the spin-off show.
Oh yeah. We're not doing a spin-off podcast.
We're not?
Hell no.
Why not? They've already upped it for 2 seasons.
So we got to do double.
I don't think it'll run congruently with The Walking Dead, will it?
I don't know. They might want to jumpstart it when Walking Dead is just kind of ending at the same time to give it the legs of it,
Yeah, but what are you going to run it? What are you going to run it the hour before? You can't run it the hour after, because you got dumbass Hardwick coming on to slob balls.
I don't know, man. Maybe on a different day, midweek. So you have like double, or it could run during the mid-season, like when there's a break. So you have like Walking Dead all the time.
Yeah, I bet you that's exactly what they'd do. Almost like how the NFL tries to give you football every night of the week.
But geez, I don't know. Morgan's got it. Okay, so we got 2 episodes left, and then we saw Daryl ride off with his Harley or his Hog, whatever bike it was, an old Indian. I don't know what it was. But by the way, that thing doesn't fucking make noise and attract walkers.
Right.
Vroom, 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 vroom,
right.
Whatever.
They'd have a goddamn trail of them 9 miles long following him.
It defeats the purpose of him using a fucking
all
bow and
day,
everything.
every day. So they'd lead him right back to the goddamn wall. Have fun trying to build that, Abraham. Daryl, stop riding that goddamn bike.
So what if So what if the next episode they have to shed a little more light on Daryl and he's out with Aaron? What if that's when they run into Morgan? Because they're going to run into him, you know? Probably.
Or will Morgan show up in Alexandria?
He's just one of the fucking people there. Like, oh yeah, I was sick. I didn't go to the party that day. That's why I haven't seen him.
Oh my God! How have I never noticed you, Morgan?
He's had diarrhea for the last week, and he's been holed up in his house. He's like next door to Rick. Like, Morgan, I thought I smelled your shit wafting out of the window. Yeah, that was me.
Maybe it's from the spaghetti from the homo neighbors.
Yeah, from the one night that Rick spent in Morgan's living room. He knows what Morgan's farts smell like.
So as far as the next episode, I mean, I really don't know. We kind of already discussed it. You know, Glenn's going to come back with the news, and you know, it's going to be a he said she said thing. The timing of it's horrible, and yeah,
basically, it's going to be a climax moment of the season. It's just kind of interesting as to where it goes, and we've touched on a lot of where it could go and kind of where it obviously seems to be going, but how it all plays out for each one of the characters is, I guess, yet still yet to be seen.
I think this definitely affects the theories of the fraction, though. Mm-hmm. That you were talking about, like, you know, them splitting sides, because it doesn't sound like they're going to give anybody the option. You know, you guys all came in together, so fuck you all.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of confusion. There's going to be, I mean, with everything kind of, like I said, kind of coming to a pass all at once, with Gabriel coming in, obviously Glenn coming back, Rick finding out this news. There's going to be a lot of things happening all at once, just within a very few moments of the first, you know, of this next episode. So it's going to be really interesting. I am actually pleasantly surprised and delighted how this end of season is kind of gone. So
no, I agree. The last episode is going to be 90 minutes as well.
Is it?
Yeah,
is it?
I saw that on the.
A twofer. That's the first. They're not usually double, are they?
It's not. No,
they usually
it's not.
They usually have an additional 15 minutes. That's it.
No, I've been looking on websites. Yeah, it's 90 minutes long.
God, that's awesome. Yeah. That's great.
That's pretty sweet.
But
it's like,
yeah, you know,
Sons of Anarchy started doing them their last season. Started around like every episode was 90 minutes.
But you know, technically, Gabriel throwing them under the bus is a fraction. Technically, kind of. You know, he might be picking sides right now. I don't know.
I just don't get that shit. Like I said, it just seems kind of just lazy. But I'm gonna guess it probably happened in the comics or something like that.
But he's just. I mean, they threw me through a curve because we saw that whole sneak peek where he's talking about the perfection, the utopia, the devil, you know, comes in disguise. You know, it makes us think he's talking about Alexandria. Maybe he's actually being a voice of reason to his group, but no, he's actually a piece of shit. I hope there's a lot.
They can be clever without being obvious about it. Way to go.
I hope that there's a lot more to this guy's character, and I hope Rick puts a bullet in his head. I hope he bites his throat out. You know.
There's I mean, obviously from day one, Father Gabriel hasn't given us much with who he is, and
like I said, he's been suspects. They've never gotten a full story at him. He's not done anything. He's just been kind of like leeching along, being quiet, right, and not even contributing. He won't even fucking talk. He's just this asshole that just chooses to be, you know, an outsider, and it's. I don't know. He doesn't really serve any purpose. And is it literally? Maybe he's not even really a holy man. Maybe that's how he's getting by. Like, I'm a holy man. No one's going to kick me out because I'm the holy man. I don't have to fucking talk to anybody. I'm just the holy man.
He killed everybody in the church as somebody was coming along. It was the only thing he could find to, like, change into. Like in the
you never know. You never know. Maybe he was just, I don't know. I mean, it's a good theory, but whatever. I can tell you that he's going to die. He's going to die before the season ends. I think Sasha's going to die before the season ends. They're pretty much killing off the black people, which is horrible.
We should start calling him Eddie Murphy, dude. Holy man. You ever seen that movie, dude?
Yeah, I've never seen it. I don't want to. Eddie Murphy makes shit movies. But I don't know.
That was when, like, after the Nutty Professor, when Eddie Murphy was just throwing whatever turd he could at the wall.
Yes.
Yeah. Bowfinger.
Oh.
Yeah, but so nothing else to contribute about predictions for the next episode. Just we kind of already covered it. It's just let's see where it goes. But as far as ratings goes, I mean, I really, really liked it. I mean, if I gave last week an 8, I'm gonna give this one a 9. I thought it was good. It was consistent again, but we got action this time.
You gave last week a 9.
No, I didn't. I gave last week an 8. I think it went 9, 8, 9. Now it's 9. It doesn't matter.
Listeners, help us out with this stuff,
yes.
And please call him on it.
Yes. It's like It's like whose line is it anyway? The points don't matter.
So you
This
think
one gets 10,000 points, 100,000 points.
you think this episode is just a smidgen better than last week?
I do.
You're
I think it's good.
fucking batshit crazy, my friend.
No, I do think. What talking about it? It was good. It was. I would say I like this one better than last week too.
Okay,
It was better.
well, okay. So would you rather watch? You'd rather watch this episode than last week's episode? Is what I'm saying.
Yes. Well, you need all three of these episodes. These last three, they all tied in really well. But this episode was something a little different. Like I said, we had a bunch of action scenes. We had huge development. We found out about Abraham. He had his little moment in the sun. The whole fucking the two deaths. The two deaths were really killer.
No, and I'm giving this episode a 9 as well. But I just want to see why you compare that. This is only a point off because this is hands down twice the episode last two were.
Well, I'm telling you.
So technically, your rating should be a 16 out of 10. The disparity isn't equal to your enthusiasm for the episode.
I'm gonna blow the cover and the lid on this right now about Riverman, because Riverman does this shit just to rile people up, so it makes for good podcasting.
Oh, stop it.
He knows, like everybody else, there's only fucking 10 numbers we work off of, and it gets a little fucking hard.
I just don't understand your rating system. I'm sorry.
I don't understand yours.
We need to start working with imaginary numbers for Aaron when it comes to.
See, Pat and I have been pretty much right on board with each other.
We're pretty even keeled with it. You kind of shoot for the moon. You're a little over enthusiastic with stuff. It's all right though. I mean, it's part of the deal.
But I would give it out. Let it go.
Todd,
I
how
give
does
it a 9.
that dick taste? Good.
I don't know. We've been
Recommend it?
We've been going back and forth. So he's been touching mine. I've been touching him.
I see a little bit of that shit running down your chin. Can I have a taste?
You wish, Whitney. 9 out of 10 for me.
Well, you know what? I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. Fuck yourself, then.
Oh, snap. He's so going to regret
You always
it.
got
Next
to
week's
change.
episode's
You
awesome.
always got to change.
No, I'm giving it a 9. I'll stick with the 9. But just because I'm leaving a little headroom, because this was a really good episode.
I was about to say, if something happened next week, we were just like, holy shit, then you would never be able to live that one down. You would have to start giving like 13 and a quarter
You know
out
what?
of 10.
I'm tempted to give this a 10 out of 10, but I'm kind of holding that off until hopefully the final episode. So.
Listen, Wayne Brady, Greg Proops. Points don't mean anything. Just throwing it out there. It's a fucking great episode. I'll call it 100,000. I don't give a shit.
Exactly. I'm going a 9 out of 10 with a bullet. That was a good episode. That was a really good episode, actually. And I'm excited. I'm excited for the next two, honestly. Yeah. See, people, we don't just bitch about the show just to bitch about the show.
This is almost a redeemer. Like, if the last two episodes are good, we had 5 in a row. That's a pretty big chunk of the season, but the whole middle sucked dick. It's like the first few were great. If the last 5 are awesome, it makes for an okay enough season. You know, it really does. Just too many stinkers lined up in the middle. It was too many at once. It
starts to just wear on you.
Mm-hmm. But
past 3 are the best ones of the season so far.
Yeah.
I think.
Highlight Little Chris getting teared apart like Cohagen. Bam. I've spoken my piece. Let us know what you guys think on btmreview.com, Facebook, BTM Review, at BTM Presents, and all that fun stuff. And leave more comments on the YouTube or wherever, and let us know your little theories, because this one is just a plethora. There's just shit. I mean, we obviously missed the obvious stuff. What's his face is a drunk, but now there's a whole bunch of stuff to work with. There's literally a million things. Let us know what you think is going to happen in the next couple episodes. You know. That's all I got, though. But I'm Aaron. Thank you.
Riverman.
Bad.
Bye.
Good night, Canada.